everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 bringing you another edition of the Wrestling Discussion Series. And I really wanted to share my thoughts on Adam Copeland's shocking debut at AEW's Wrestle Dream 2023 after retiring from WWE back in August 2023 in his hometown of Toronto, Canada. Now, I have often said over the years that the element of surprise has pretty much been dead in the water for the wrestling business, as far as I'm concerned. Nothing is a surprise anymore. Everything's very predictable, and you can kind of see everything coming before it even happens. Edge making his AEW debut was definitely something that I didn't see coming because Edge got to retire on his own terms in his hometown of Toronto, Canada, with his wife and kids at ringside. Got to go out on a good match against Sheamus, a guy who he had never faced before. And it seemed like the perfect way to end the career of Edge after 25 years in WWE. Now, obviously, there were rumors going around that Edge was going to jump to AEW. Edge neither denied or confirmed this. He pretty much said that he was done. And then this happens. I obviously didn't see this because it was late. I was fast asleep. Went on Facebook the next day, got a few messages from people I know telling me that Edge is now in AEW. He had a face-off with Christian. He shook hands with Sting, which absolutely blew my mind. It was nuts. I thought, is this a dream? I'm seeing Edge in another company other than WWE because I've been watching wrestling for well over 25 plus years now. And I pretty much grew up with Edge. Edge was very young when he debuted. I think he must have been about 24 or 23 years old, somewhere around that age group. He was in his 20s. And, I've seen Edge go from being the silent guy who used to hang around in the crowds to a gothic follower to a vampire to a goofball to the rated R superstar to the ultimate opportunist. You name it. I've seen Edge in every incarnation of his character. The whole controversy with Matt Hardy and Lita. I've been with Edge on this up and down road, to say the very least. But I never ever envisioned Edge competing in another company. I always looked at Edge as a WWE loyalist. You would never imagine Edge going into another company. You just thought it was nuts. You just thought, nah, that would never happen. Edge is WWE for life. Now, Edge put out a statement on Twitter, which is 4 pages long, and really wanted to share this with all of you. And after you hear this, I mean, a lot of you probably have heard this already, but I'm going to read this out anyway for those who may not have heard this. And to me, I have always respected Edge's honesty, whether it was positive or negative. He's always been a guy who's very outspoken and speaks his mind. He's never afraid of telling the truth and throwing no punches. So this is what Edge had to say on Twitter. As some of you may now know, I'm no longer with WWE. My new home is AEW. I'm excited. Whole new roster. Some familiar faces that I wanted to work with again, and a whole set of first ever matches. New challenges. And if you followed my career, you know that's what I've always been driven by. But first and foremost, I want to address my 25 years with WWE. I love WWE and appreciate everything the company did for me. Always have, always will. They put me on the map, gave me amazing opportunities, and through hard work on both ends, I've been supplied with a wonderful life. Hell, WWE helps me meet the woman I'd start my family with. Sometimes relationships just grow apart, and I feel the WWE and I have just outgrown each other. I wanted to do more. They didn't have much more for me to do. Simple as that, and that's okay. I'll still be watching and still be supporting all of my friends there. I don't buy into this odd mentality of one company or the other. It's weird. If you took offense to that, take a walk, get some fresh air, and soak up some sunshine. It's wrestling, an amazing gig, but still, it's wrestling. Relax. It's supposed to be fun. And it's just a segment of the fans, not most fans, and definitely not the performers. Within the industry, we all know that more choices is better for everyone and it pushes us all to be better. As a wrestling fan, which I still am, it's exciting that there's a viable companies providing wrestling on national and worldwide platforms. If you're actually a fan of wrestling and not acronyms, that should make you happy too. I guess what I'm trying to say is this. If you've appreciated my work, you still can, no matter what the initials are, because I'll still be busting my ass every time I'm out there. This ride isn't over just yet. Just try to have fun like it should be, because trust me, I'll be having fun every time I'm out there in an AEW ring. Let's go. Well, like I said, Edge has always been a guy who's been truly honest, good or bad. He always speaks his mind and never holds back on the truth. Now, Edge said he was done with WWE, but he never actually said he was done with wrestling. So now that he's in AEW, what does this mean? It means that while Edge still has gas in his tank, he's going to enjoy himself and do what he wants. Would I have preferred to have seen him stay in WWE? Probably, but what more could he do? He did everything. Now that he's in AEW, the possibilities of new matches is endless. We could actually see Edge versus Adam Cole. We could actually see Edge versus Aleister Black. Edge versus MJF, which I think just on a promo level, I think that could be absolutely fantastic. Edge versus Bryan Danielson. Edge versus Darby Allin, which I think could be really good, especially for Darby Allin as well. Edge versus John Moxley. I think that could be a wicked match because Edge left WWE in 2011 due to a neck injury. John Moxley debuted as part of the Shield in 2012 as Dean Ambrose, so they missed each other. So I think that could be a really good match. And of course, Matt Hardy's there in AEW, Jeff Hardy's there as well. So there's a lot of history there as well. So we could see some of those old matches revisited. And of course, last but not least, Christian Cage, who right now is at the top of his game as the TNT champion and putting out some of his best work as a heel. And a program with those two would be gold. They've done great stuff in the past. I think we could definitely see something with those two again, especially with the promo that I saw involving Edge and Christian Cage. I think those two could really cook up something. And plus, there's a lot of history between those two as tag team and as opponents and as part of the Brood. So there's a lot of story and stuff to get your teeth into. So, Edge in AEW, what does this actually mean? Well, CM Punk has cried off home, so the door is wide open for Edge to pick up the ball and do something that CM Punk didn't do, and that's help the company. Edge has always been a company guy, a true team player, always did what's right for business, putting guys over, and all sorts of things. So I definitely can see AEW benefiting a lot from Edge's experience, and I can definitely see him helping to make some new stars down in AEW. So I think that in itself is an exciting opportunity, not just for Edge, but for the company itself, and especially Tony Khan as well. You know, he must be sitting there rubbing his hands together, thinking, what can I actually do with this guy? What matches can I book him in? It's very exciting, very shocking, because I never ever thought I would see Edge in another company. But That's what makes wrestling so much fun. Lots of twists, lots of turns. The element of surprise, at least for this time anyway, is back. So I'm very excited to see where this all goes. But best of luck to Edge. I hope everything works out for him. And let's see what happens. I think this is going to be an interesting ride. And I think with Edge has got more matches behind him than he has in front of him. So he probably hasn't got a lot left. So I can see him maybe staying in AEW for about a year or two, and then he'll just fully retire. And I can probably see Christian Cage as his final opponent. So we're just going to have to wait and see, really. So that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. What's your thoughts on Edge in AEW? Are you shocked? Are you excited? Did you see this coming? What kind of matches would you like to see? Would you like to see Edge versus MJF? Edge versus Darby Allin? Edge versus John Moxley? Would you like to see him maybe do something with Sting, perhaps? What kind of role do you think he could play in the company? If Edge does retire, would you like to see Christian Cage as his final opponent? Or would you rather see Edge and Christian team up one last time and win the tag team titles and maybe mix it up with the Hardys one last time? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Wrestling Discussion Series. So until then, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.